Morning, your name, please? What's your name?
Jalen Houston.
Mr. Houston, you're here for initial appearance, 5 matters. I'm gonna. Did you say that an attorney had filed a notice of appearance on his cases? Houston? Okay. All right, so you're here on 5 cases. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in the 5 cases. The first case, 22 CF 15023. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm and use of a firearm in commission of a felony. I'm going to stay the bond at none. Actually, on count 3, I'll set the bond of $5,000, but counts 1 and 2, bond will be stayed at none. Second case, 22 CF 15024, arrested pursuant to a warrant for attempted first-degree murder with a firearm and use of a firearm in commission of a felony. Stay the bond at none on count 1, $5,000 bond on count 2. Third case, 22 CF 15025, arrested pursuant to a warrant for 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm and use of a firearm in commission of a felony. And to stay the bonds at none on counts 1 and 2, a $5,000 bond on count 3. Fourth case, 22 CF 15026. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant, 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm, use of a firearm in commission of a felony. I'm going to stay the bonds at none on counts 1 and 2 and a $5,000 bond on count 3. And the last case, 22 CF 15027. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm, a 3rd count of use of a firearm in commission of a felony. I'm going to stay the bonds at none on counts 1 and 2. Set a $5,000 bond on count 3. And the public defender has been appointed in all cases.
And Your Honor, Sue would ask for no contact with victims or witnesses.
In all cases, I'm going to order that you have no contact with any witness, co-defendant, or victim while this matter is pending.
Your Honor, Fisher refused.
On Richard Fisher, I'm going to appoint the public defender. I'm going to stay the bond at $1,000.
I will waive.
Okay. Take a second. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
William Graham.
Mr. Graham, you're here for initial appearance on 2 cases. You've been arrested for reckless driving and fleeing or attempting to elude. Okay. Are you asking me to appoint the public defender in these cases, or are you going to hire an attorney?
Hire, sir.
You're going to hire an attorney, okay. All right, State, you have a position on bond on the fleeing or attempting to elude?
Your Honor, State will leave it within your discretion. One is an F2 and one is an F3, as it was 2 different incidences. So State would just ask that you take that into account when setting his bond as well as his criminal history.
In the first case, 20. Okay. 22 CF 15021, fleeing or attempting to elude. Going to set the bond at $2,500 on count 1, $500 on count 2. The second case, 22 CF 14968, aggravated fleeing or attempting to elude with injury or damage. I'm going to set that bond at $7,500 and the resisting, stay the bond at 500. All right, good luck. Morning, sir, your name, please? Morning, your name, please?
Johnny Ross.
Mr. Ross, you're here for initial appearance. You're here for an initial appearance. You've been arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm and a battery. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in the case. State you have a position on bond.
Your Honor, state we just ask for a reasonable bond.
All right, defense?
Your Honor, I would ask for a reasonable bond, also taking into account he has very limited criminal history when setting that bond.
Okay. All right, I'm going to set the bond, count one at, because of lack of history, I'll set it at $2,500. Count two, the bond's already set at $100. I'm going to order that you have no contact with Ricky Edwards or Catherine Edwards or looks like Mona Edwards, I presume. So no contact with any victim or witness in the case, possess no weapons or firearms. All right, good luck, sir. Morning, sir, your name, please?
Trayvon Trenton Thomas.
Okay, that's, we're out of order here. Oh, I think it was stuck to that last, the bottom of that last one. Here we go, okay, all right. All right, Mr. Thomas, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for battery with a prior battery. I'll appoint the public defender. The bond is set at $1,000. I'm going to order you not to have any contact with a victim or any witness and not to return to the scene of the offense. Good luck, sir.
I ask who the victim name is on this case, Your Honor?
Wrote it, it's right here.
Give me a second.
That's why I wrote it for you.
All right, thank you.
I had already told him.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
O'Neill?
You have a last name, O'Neill?
Yeah, Barga.
Thank you. You're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for resisting an officer without violence, possession of drug paraphernalia, and providing false identification to law enforcement. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. The bond's been set at $500 on each of the three counts, so a total of $1,500. All right, good luck.
Here you go.
Christopher Bowles.
Thank you, Mr. Bowles. You're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for loitering or prowling and resisting an officer without violence.
And Your Honor, state did convey an offer to Mr. Bowles of an adjudication, credit time served, and no return.
And Mr. Bowles would like to accept and proceed on the contract.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bowles, I've been handed a plea form. It has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
To the charge of loitering or prowling, how do you plead?
No contest.
And to the charge of resisting an officer without violence, how do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept your pleas. I'll adjudicate you guilty as to each. I'll give you credit for the 2 days that you've served in jail. I'm going to order you not to return to that Forest Brookie subdivision in Ocoee. Understand that if you go back, I would presume that if they see you, you're just gonna get rearrested, okay? So don't return to the subdivision. I'll give you 350 days to pay the cost, 30 days to appeal. You'll be processed and released today. All right, good luck. Morning, sir. Your name, please? Mr. Garcia, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for trespass after warning.
And the offer from the state is an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to 120 West Grant Street in court costs. Mr. Garcia would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest. And in exchange for resolving the case, Your Honor, I would ask that you take no action on the out on bond.
All right, Mr. Garcia, I'm being handed a plea form. It has your name at the top. And did you sign it at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
This document?
It's right there.
Okay. All right, to that charge of trespass after warning, how do you plead?
No contest, sir.
I'll accept that. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for the 2 days you served in jail. I'm gonna order you not to return to that Target, the store on West Grant Street. If you go back and they see you, you're just gonna get arrested. So don't return. I'll take no action on the out on bonds. You got 30 days to appeal. I'll give you 350 days to pay the cost.
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck.
Tomorrow.
Very good.
That's it. Thank you, sir.
Good luck. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Morning, Sean Christopher Jewell.
Mr. Jewell, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for trespass in an occupied structure.
10?
Nope.
Huh?
Any offer in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, state did convey an offer to Mr. Jewell of an adjudication, credit time served, no return to the 7-Eleven at 3911 McCoy Road.
Okay.
McCoy.
McCoy Road.
And Mr. Joel would like to accept. For some reason, on my sheet, it's not telling me the case number. Do you have that?
This is 22 MM 8740. All right, Mr. Joel, I'm handed a plea form. It's got your name at the top. Is this your signature at the bottom? Okay,
Yes.
all right. To the charge of trespass in an occupied structure, how do you plead? You
No
plead guilty?
contest. No contest.
I'll accept no contest. I'll adjudicate you guilty. I'll give you credit for the 2 days that you've served. I'm going to order you not to return to that 7-Eleven on McCoy Road that's down by the airport. If you go back, you're just going to get rearrested. So don't return.
Okay.
It'll be 350 days to pay the cost. You got 30 days to appeal.
Your Honor, McNutt is medical.
And can we reset for tomorrow, Your Honor? There's an offer to resolve.
Okay, on McNutt, we'll reset for IA tomorrow.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, he's not coming. That's fine. Your Honor, it's okay. Could you stay the bond? He's not gonna be able to make it tomorrow. I didn't know.
Okay,
It doesn't
on-
make sense to reset it if he can't come.
On McNutt, I'll stay the bond at $500. I'll appoint the public defender.
Thank you.
And she's also out on bond for case number 22 MM 6769 AL.
I'm sorry, I totally missed what you were,
McNutt is also out on bond, case number 22 MM 6769 AL.
I'll take no action on the out on bond.
Says 6769.
Yes.
Shane Massam.
Mr. Massam, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for trespass on property other than a structure or conveyance.
Who I listen to?
And state did convey an offer to Mr. Massam of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to the Hilton Garden Inn at 7300 Augusta National Drive.
And you would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest, Your Honor?
All right, Mr. Massam, I'm handed a plea form. It has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom? Mr. Massam? Did you sign this form?
Form you just signed.
Okay, all right. To the charge of trespass on property other than a structure or conveyance, how do you plead? I'll accept that. I'll adjudicate you guilty. I'll give you credit for the 2 days you served in jail, so you'll be processed and released today. But you can't return to that hotel, the Hilton Garden Inn on Augusta National Drive.
Absolutely.
Okay, if you go back there, you're just gonna get rearrested. You'll be right back here, so you don't wanna do that, all right? 350 days to pay the cost, 30 days to appeal. All right, so they'll process you. You'll be released today. Good luck.
Ida Mae Williams.
Thank you. Ms. Williams, you're here for,
Battery.
okay. You're here for a battery. You're here for initial appearance. I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you. You've got a $500 bond. Okay, and what's the state's position on the, she's out on ROR on two other seemingly related type cases?
On the 5868, I believe she's currently in comp proceedings.
Yeah.
I would assume the same on the other one as well, so state would request no action at this time.
Okay, let's look at something here.
And the 6808 has not yet been filed.
All right, I'm gonna stay the bond at $500. Order no return to the scene. I'll take no action on the add-on bonds.
Your Honor, would also ask for no contact with the victim.
Yeah, no victim. It appears it was a random person. Morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Brittany Campbell.
All right, Ms. Campbell, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for failing to appear at a pretrial conference on a charge of trespass on property other than a structure or conveyance.
And the state did convey an offer to Ms. Campbell of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to the 7-Eleven at 3000 West Colonial Drive, and cost of investigation to OPD in the amount of $84.12.
From what I saw, Your Honor, the note that I saw was that she was in comp proceedings in a different case.
Yeah, I think there's 3 open trespasses right now.
Yeah.
I recognize the name. It may be in, I may have one in one of my divisions, so.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so what I'll do today is, Ms. Campbell, I'll reduce the bond to $500. I've appointed the public defender. You need to keep in contact with the attorney and appear at all court appearances. And I'm gonna order you not to return to the scene. All right, good luck.
My name is Davidson Mercier.
Thank you, Mr. Mercier. You're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for failing to appear for a pretrial a couple weeks ago on an open container charge, on a city charge.
And
Offer from the state was a withhold of adjudication, credit time served. There's a $10 filing fee as well as court costs. And Mr. Messier would like to accept an enter plea of no contest.
All right, Mr. Messier, I'm handed a plea form. It has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom? All right, to that open container, how do you plead?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the charge? Guilty or no contest?
No contest.
I'll accept that. I'll withhold adjudication. I'll give you credit for the 2 days you served in jail. Order that you pay the city costs and the filing fee. And I'll give you 350 days to get that paid. You got 30 days to appeal. You'll be processed and released on this today. Okay? Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning. Your name, sir?
Rodney Saintville.
Mr. Saintville, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a violation of a condition of pretrial release. Looks like you were on pretrial release for the offense of battery, and allegations are that you violated that by committing new offenses the following day of criminal mischief. Looks like 2 separate criminal mischiefs, 3 criminal mischiefs, three new felony criminal mischiefs. I revoked your pretrial release and set the bond at none, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. All right, good luck. Yeah, Rodney Saintville. Yeah, his pretrial's revoked. Yeah, I signed the.
I got it.
He's my case.
I understand. Your Honor, Paul Clark is mental health.
And I will waive, Your Honor. Mr. Clark is in comp proceedings in 2 other cases. I just ask that you stay the bond and take no action on the out.
Okay, yeah, I'll stay on the open container. I'll stay the bond at 250. Take no action on out of bond. Public defender's appointed.
Emmanuel.
Mr. Emmanuel, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for a city case, disorderly conduct.
and state to convey an offer on behalf of the city of an adjudication credit time served.
Your Honor, I don't have the case number.
It's 22 MO 1434.
And he would like to accept an enter plea of no contest.
Okay. All right, sir, I'm holding up a plea form. It has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. To that city case of disorderly conduct, how do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept that. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for 2 days. I'll give you 350 days to pay the cost. You got 30 days to appeal. You'll be processed and released on this today, okay?
Yes, sir.
Good luck.
Thanks.
See, and getting bad. John Paler Jr.
Mr. Failer, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for disorderly conduct.
And state to convey an offer on behalf of the city of an adjudication credit time served.
I just need the case number, Your Honor.
It's 22 MO 1435.
And he would like to accept an enter plea of no contest.
All right. All right, Mr. Failer, I'm handed a plea form. It has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
All right, to that disorderly conduct, how do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept no contest. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for the 2 days you served in jail. You got 350 days to pay the cost, 30 days to appeal. You'll be processed and released on this today.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Lundy Quam, Your Honor, bonded.
Okay, thank you.
Charles Smith.
All right, Mr. Smith, You're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a city ordinance violation of urinating or defecating in public.
And state did convey an offer on behalf of the city of an adjudication credit time served.
And Mr. Smith would like to accept an answer plea of no contest. I just need the case number, Your Honor.
It's 22 MO 1437. All right, Mr. Smith, I'm handed a plea form. It's got your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. To that city ordinance, urinating or defecating in public, how do you plead? How do you plead to the charge, guilty or no contest?
No contest.
I'll accept that. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for the 2 days you served in jail, give you 350 days to pay the cost. You got 30 days to appeal. You'll be processed and released today on this, okay?
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may we approach on this case?
Yes. Yeah, that's fine. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Emmanuel Bartholomew Strickland.
Mr. Strickland, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for open container on a city case.
And state did convey an offer on behalf of the city of an adjudication of guilt, 10 days OCJ with credit for 2.
Your Honor, he would like to accept an answer plea of no contest, and I just need the case number.
It's 22 MO 1438. All right, Mr. Strickland, I'm holding up this plea form. It's got your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes.
Okay. All right, to that open container, how do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept that. I'll adjudicate you guilty. I'll sentence you to 10 days in the county jail, give you credit for the 2 that you've already served, give you 350 days to pay the cost. You've got 30 days to appeal. All right, good luck.
So if I have 10 days, about 2 days time served, then I'll be out in 8 days?
Yeah, it'll be a week.
All right,
It'll be
thank
a
you.
week. All right, good luck.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, Marrero is mental health.
Marrero's mental health. I'll appoint the public defender to represent Ingrid Marrero.
Oh, okay. Your Honor, I would ask for pretrial release. He has no other history.
Say there's
Right.
no objection.
I'll release her on pretrial release with the condition she not consume any alcohol. Public defender's appointed. Mental health.
Cruz was ROR.
Okay. Who's ROR?
Your Honor is behavior.
Fernand.
I'm right here. I will waive, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the public defender. I'll stay the bonds at 2,500, 500, and 5,000 with the order not to return to the scene. No contact with any victim or witness. Behavior. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Only for the record, I'm representing Miguel Gonzalez.
Okay. I'll assume you are Mr. Miguel Gonzalez. You're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for the offense of carjacking. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
No, sir, I represent myself in all matters.
All right, not a problem. And state you have a position on a bond.
Your Honor, State would just ask that you take into account that he does have 2 prior failures to appear and not really a lengthy criminal history, mostly just other driving offenses. So State would just ask that you take that into account, as well as that he is a multi-state offender.
Yep.
Excuse me, does the state have an offer for me?
No, not at this
We're
time.
we can't get this resolved today. So,
Only for the record, I'd like to invoke common law jurisdiction. Only for the record, I'd like to invoke all of my rights, waiving none.
I'm going to set the bond at $5,000.
Can I ask that the bond be a little lower, sir, so that my family may be able to pay it and I can fight this from the street?
Your Honor, State would object, it's an F1, so 5,000 is already,
I've set the bond at $5,000. I'm going to order you not to have any contact with the
Yes,
victim
Judge.
or any witnesses.
Yes, Judge.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Green.
Mr. Green, you're here for an initial appearance. You've been arrested for failing to appear at a pretrial conference back on July the 5th this year on a charge of trafficking and a controlled substance. The judge set the bond at none. All right, good luck, sir.
Your Honor, Haywood refused.
And I will waive, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Haywood, I will appoint the public defender and stay the bond at $1,000 with the order not to return to the scene.
William Henry's May.
Thank you, Mr. Harisme. You're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for carrying a concealed firearm and loitering or prowling. I'll appoint the public defender. I'll stay the bond in count 1 at $2,500 and it's $250 on count 2. I'm going to order you not to return to the scene and that you possess no weapons or firearms while this matter is pending.
Your Honor, State would also ask for no contact with his co-defendant.
Order no contact with any victim or witness in the case. Good luck. Morning, sir. Your name, please? Mr. King, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for trafficking in more than 400 grams of cocaine, trafficking in cocaine with a weapon, and possession of cocaine with intent to traffic. Okay. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State what's your position regarding, looks like bond on count 2 of the warrant, and also it appears that he's currently out on bond.
Yes, Judge, State would ask that you set count 2 at none, as it is a PBL. And in regards to the out on bond, it is filed on, 2 of which charges are also life offenses. Trafficking in cocaine with a weapon, trafficking in meth with a weapon, trafficking in fentanyl, 14 or more, and firearm by convicted felon. It is filed, so State would request that you set no, or revoke the out on bond.
Okay. Is that, Jessica Gordon, is she with the public defender's office? Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so I'm appointing the public defender in the new case. I am going to, defense, do you have a position on bond?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to stay the bond at none on count 2. And I am going to revoke the ROR on the out on bond case and set that bond at none. So you've got attorneys in both cases, and you can file the appropriate motion with the judges and the divisions if you wish to seek a bond.
And what was count 1, Your Honor? I'm sorry.
You're staying,
That's right.
I think he's staying on 500,000 on
So it-
1,
Count,
5,000 on 3.
yep, count 1 of 500 is going to be stayed, count 2 is going to be stayed at none, and count 3 will be 5,000. That's correct. And then no bond. All right, good luck.
Antoine Latson.
Mr. Ladson, you're here for initial appearance. I'm going to appoint the public defender. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, and count of possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver. Okay. The bonds have been set at $7,500 on count one, $150 on count two. Those will be stayed. Good luck.
Did you appoint, sir?
Yes, I did. Good morning. Your name, please?
Good morning. My name is Estrella Lamore.
Ms. Lamore, you're here for initial appearance. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You've been arrested for burglary of an occupied dwelling and criminal mischief of more than $1,000. Bonds have been set at $5,000 on count one, $1,000 on count two. I am going to order that you not return to the scene, 1719 37th Street, that you have no contact with any victim or witness in this case. All right, good luck. Morning, your name, sir?
Marlon Lewis.
Mr. Lewis, you're here for initial appearance. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You've been arrested for carrying a concealed firearm. You've got a $2,500 bond, and I'm going to order that you not possess any weapons or firearms while this matter is pending. Oh, I see the state. Do you object to pretrial release?
He already posted the bond, Your Honor, so I just.
Posted the bond. Okay. All right. All right, good luck.
It hasn't been paid yet on our end.
Pose any conditions for this case?
No weapons or firearms.
Oh, okay. Pretrial just told me it hasn't posted, so I would just ask for the pretrial release if state has no objection.
State has no objection.
All right, so Mr. Lewis, I'll release you on pretrial release in lieu of posting a bond with that same condition of possessing no weapons or firearms.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Huh?
What's your name, please?
Lindo.
Mr. Lindo, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for possession of cocaine.
Your Honor, he also qualifies for PTR. State has no objection.
I'll appoint the public defender.
He would like pretrial release, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll release you on pretrial release with the condition that you not possess any, or not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs.
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck. Good morning, your name, sir?
Jason McCain.
All right, sir, you're here for initial appearance. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You've been arrested for, pursuant to a warrant, destroying or damaging electronic monitoring device and grand theft. Okay. I've appointed the public defender. State, you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, state would just ask for reasonable bonds on both counts. They have both been filed, both as F3s. So state would just ask for a reasonable bond.
Defense?
Just the reasonable bond, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to set the bond in count one at $2,500 and $500 in count two.
And
Good luck, sir.
he also has a HRSO detainer.
Okay,
Did explain, he has reporting requirements, Your Honor.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
All right, good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Michael New.
Mr. New, you're here for initial appearance. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for, I've got four counts. First is child neglect with great bodily harm. Second count is possession of controlled substance without a prescription, that being fentanyl. Third count is possession of a controlled substance, that being methamphetamine. And the fourth count, possession of a controlled substance, that being morphine without a prescription. Okay. State, you have a position on bond on count one?
Your Honor, the way it's currently charged is as an F2. So state will just leave it within your discretion. He does have some prior criminal history.
Defense?
I would just ask for a reasonable bond, Your Honor.
I'm going to set the bond on count one at $5,000. Count two will be stayed at $5,000. Counts 3 and 4 will be stayed at $150 each. Order no contact with the victim.
I'll look at it again.
Good luck.
Was this when the child passed away and we were cleared? I was cleared.
Don't talk about the facts.
Talk about the facts. I was cleared of all these charges and released. And now APD wants to lie and put a warrant out for my arrest?
Okay. I've appointed you an attorney, and you can talk to the attorney about that.
Your Honor, Reese Fifth refused.
Did you see me? On this case, can we have just a moment, Your Honor?
I would argue like the intent to deprive because he was moving stuff around in the back. He didn't actually have to take it. He was in the car.
It's all his bag, not the victim's.
Hernandez. Victim.
Oh.
No, you're good.
Thank you, Your Honor, and I will waive.
All right, I will appoint the public defender. I'll stay the bond at $3,500. Order no return to the scene, no contact with the victim. State what's the position on that on bond.
Year 8. Your Honor, it has not yet been filed, so state would request no action.
I'll take no action on the on bond.
Teron Reese.
I had a Leonard Rio Pedre.
I'll have him next.
Have a booking number by any chance?
That's inmate numbers 22030202. It's Rio Pedre.
He's on the docket.
Okay, all right. So- Okay, we got it now. So you're Mr. Tyron Reese?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for robbery with a firearm, aggravated battery with a weapon, and grand theft. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State what your position regarding bond on count one.
Your Honor, given that count 1 is a first-degree felony that's punishable by life, state's requesting no bond pending an Arthur hearing downtown.
Okay. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor, we reserve the right to have Arthur.
All right. I'm gonna stay the bond at none on count one. I'll state count two at 3,500 and count three at 1,000. I'm gonna order no contact with the victim or any witness or co-defendant, possess no weapons or firearms. So your attorney can file the appropriate motion with the judge downtown. All right. Good luck, Mr. Reese. Good morning. Your name, sir? What's your name, please?
Leonard.
What's your last name, Leonard?
Rio Pedre.
Mr. Rio Pedre, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a capias for aggravated fleeing or attempting to elude. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. State you have a position on.
I believe it's a VOP.
Does it?
That was in 2010.
Yeah, it's a 2010 case. Give me just a second.
I had no idea.
is a violation of probation. And it looks like it's back. All right, I'm gonna appoint the public defender, and I'm gonna stay the bond at none. And you'll go back and see the judge in Division 11. Good luck. Good morning, your name, sir?
Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for burglary of a structure and grand theft. Bonds are set at $3,500 on count one, $150 on count two. Order you not to return to the Dollar General on South Orange Blossom Trail. No contact with any victim or witness in the case. Okay, and let's see, do we have a second case here? We've got a second case.
50.
Yep. Also burglary of a structure and grand theft. Okay, let's see what's up. Here we got the 1229, 1229. All right. So that's the 22nd. Okay, so we've got two, okay,
Yes, I believe the second case was the 22nd.
yeah, we've got two separate burglaries, same business, one on the 22nd of December, the second on the 28th. So the second case, the bond will be stayed at $3,500 on count one, $150 on count two. And I've appointed the public defender to represent you in all cases. No return to the scene, no contact with any victim or witness. All right, good luck.
Your Honor, Rose bonded.
Rose bonded, thank you. Morning, sir, your name, please?
Stephen Shorb. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. You're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested. Got a total of 6 charges, 3 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer, 1 count of resisting an officer with violence, and then 2 counts of threat to a law enforcement officer or public official. Okay. I'm going to appoint the public defender. Well, we got a second case, actually. One. Second case also for attempted burglary of an occupied dwelling and assault. I'll appoint the public defender in both cases. The first case, bond is stayed in count 1 at $2,500. Counts 2, 3, and 4, bond is $150. Counts 5 and 6, $100. Second case, the attempted burglary of an occupied dwelling, the bond will be stayed at $2,500. The assault will be $100. In that case, I'm going to order that you not return to the scene on 4515 Jouster Court. No contact with any victim or witness in the case.
State would also request no weapons, Your Honor.
Also possess no weapons or firearms while this matter is pending. All right, good luck. Morning, sir. Your name, please? What's your name, please?
Xavier Sylvester.
Mr. Sylvester, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for trafficking in MDMA. I'll appoint the public defender. The bond's been set at $50,000. Good luck.
Herman Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Bond is set at $3,500, and you're ordered not to have any, no weapons or firearms or ammunition, no contact with any witnesses in the case. I'll appoint the public defender and state what's your position on the out on bond.
Your Honor, I would request no action.
Okay, I'll take no action on the out on bond. Public defender's appointed. Good luck.
Anna Warwick refused.
Warwick,
I will waive your.
I'll appoint the public defender and I'll stay the bonds, 1,000 on count 1, 500 each on counts 2 and 3. Order no return to the scene. All right, we are all done. Thank you, we're in recess. All right, good morning, counsel. Could you identify yourself for the record?
Morning, Ashley Parker on behalf of Mr. Nicholas.
Thank you. All right, this is Samuel Nicholas. You're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for looks like violation of probation. You were on probation for 2 counts of aggravated stalking. I'm sorry, it looks like community control. Allegations that you violated your community control are that you failed to submit your monthly reports, failed to report as directed as of 2013. You left your county of residence without permission, failed to attend and complete the batter's intervention program. The bond has been set at none. All right. So if you wish to seek a bond, your attorney can file the appropriate motion in front of the judge that this case is going to be in front of in Division 20. All right. Was there anything you wanted to address, counsel?
No, Your Honor, we were going to see if the court would exercise discretion and set a $5,000 bond.
No, I don't believe I've actually got authority to change the bond on this, but in any event, based on the age and the allegations, I'm not gonna, I wouldn't set a bond. Okay. So your attorney can address that with the judge in the division. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, can you advise the defendant he has a hold for immigration?
Yes, and there's also an immigration hold, just to be aware of that.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Good morning, sir. What's your name, please?
Jermaine D. Hamilton.
Oh, I'm sorry. Misinterpreter, that's all we have. Thank you. She already hung up. All right, Mr. Hamilton, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for trespass in an occupied structure and resisting an officer.
Yes, sir.
This was reset yesterday due to an offer from Mr. Hamilton of an adjudication, credit time served, and no return.
It's 5210 Silver Star Road, excuse me. Silver Star Road. And Mr. Hamilton would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Hamilton, I'm handed a plea form. Has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to the charge of trespass in an occupied structure?
No contest.
And how do you plead to resisting an officer?
No contest.
I'll accept your pleas of no contest. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for the 3 days you've served in jail, so you'll be processed and released on these charges today. I'm going to order you not to return to 5210 Silver Star Road where you got arrested. If you go back, you're just going to get rearrested. So don't return there. 350 days to pay the cost, 30 days to appeal. All right. Good luck, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Jasmine Harrison Oxley.
Thank you, ma'am. You're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for trespass after warning.
And this was reset yesterday due to there being an offer for Ms. Harrison. The offer the state conveyed was a withhold, credit time served, and no return to the, I believe it was a Marriott at 400 West Livingston Street.
And Ms. Harrison would like to accept it as her plea of no contest, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, ma'am, I've handed a plea form. It has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom? Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, to that charge of trespass after warning, how do you plead? Guilty or no contest?
No contest, Your
I'll
Honor.
accept that. I'll withhold adjudication. I'll give you credit for the 3 days that you've served in jail. I'm going to order that you not return to the Marriott Downtown Hotel, 400 West Livingston Street. Understand if you go back and they see you, you're just going to get rearrested, so don't.
Yes, sir, no problems. Yes, sir.
All right. 350 days to pay the cost. You've got 30 days to appeal. You'll be processed and released on this today. All right, good luck, ma'am. Good morning. Your name, please?
Judy Frederick.
Frederick, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for aggravated battery, great bodily harm, and battery, both domestic related. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State, you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, state would just ask for reasonable bonds on both counts. Take into account her history is mostly other battery-related offenses. And the victim in count 2 was her daughter, who was age 14 at the time, so DCF has been contacted.
Defense, you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, I just asked for a reasonable bond. She does not need a one-time return. I believe she moved out, Your Honor, is what she told me.
All right, I'm going to set the bond at $2,500 on count 1, $1,000 on count 2. I'm going to order you have no contact with the victims, no return to the scene, possess no weapons or firearms. Morning. Your name, sir?
Christopher Jimenez.
Mr. Jimenez, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for the offense of battery that's domestic related. Are you asking me to appoint an attorney to represent you in this case, or are you going to hire an attorney, sir?
I was actually hoping to have everything dropped. I don't know if.
Okay, well, that's not what I asked you. You want me to appoint an attorney, or you want to hire an attorney?
I don't have one, so I guess you're gonna have to appoint one. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender. State, do you have a position on bond?
We have a victim present, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. We swear in the witness, please?
Ma'am, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name for the record.
Gina Marie Gorman.
All right, ma'am, I'm just pulling up the affidavit. right, Ms. Gorman, I see that you're listed as the victim in this matter.
Yes, sir.
If Mr. Jimenez is released in this matter, do you want to have contact with him, or do you want him to stay away from you?
I would like to have contact.
Okay. Are you in fear of him?
I am not.
State, do you have any questions?
Has anything like this ever happened before?
No, ma'am.
And if anything like this or anything more severe ever occurred in the future where you felt threatened, would you feel comfortable calling 911?
I would.
Thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
I have no questions, Your Honor.
Okay. And state your position on bond.
Your Honor, just a reasonable bond. He doesn't qualify for PCR due to being on probation, so say just ask for a reasonable bond.
Defense?
I would ask for a reasonable bond and a no hostile contact based on the victim's testimony, Your Honor.
I'll set the bond at $500. I'll order no hostile contact with Ms. Gorman, that you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no weapons or firearms. Good luck. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Kimberly Jones.
Ms. Jones, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a battery. It's domestic related. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, and can we swear in the witness?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Please step up and give your answer.
Yes.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
North Casanova.
Thank you. You can put your hand down.
All right, I see you're listed as the victim. If Ms. Jones is released on this matter, do you want to have contact with her, or do you want her to stay away from you?
We can have contact.
You have to speak up a little bit.
So we can have contact.
You want to have contact. Are you in fear of her?
No.
State, do you have any questions for Mr. Casanova?
Yes. Has anything like this ever happened before?
No.
And if anything like this or anything more severe ever occurred in the future where you felt threatened, would you feel comfortable calling 911?
No, I don't mind calling police.
That's all the questions, Your Honor, the state has at this time.
Defense, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. State, you have any objection to pretrial release?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, I'll release you on pretrial release with the condition that you have no hostile contact with Mr. Casanova. All right, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. It's pretrial release. Good morning. Your name, sir?
Christopher Murray.
Mr. Murray, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a battery. It's domestic related. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State you have a position on bond.
State has no objection to PCR.
Defense?
Your Honor, I would ask for pretrial release and a one-time return with law enforcement to gather any belongings.
All right, I'll release you on pretrial release with the condition that you have no contact with Magdalena Monge or Manji. Maintain a separate residence. You can return to the shared residence one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. You're not to go back there alone. You're not to have contact with her. In addition, I'm going to order that you not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs while this matter's pending. So if you have a question, run it by the attorney before you say it, because everything's being recorded. All right, good luck, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Angela Robinson.
All right, Ms. Robinson, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a battery. It's domestic related. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. We swear in the witness.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing
Yes.
but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Angelique Nelson.
All All right, Ms. Nelson, is Angela Robinson your daughter?
Yeah.
That's my mom.
That's what, Miss Angelique Monet Marie Nelson.
Yes, that's me.
That's you, okay. And what's your relationship to Angela Robinson?
I'm her daughter.
Okay, I'm sorry if that came out the wrong way. All right, ma'am, if she's released on this matter, do you want to have contact with her, or do you want her to stay away from you?
I want to have contact.
Are you in fear of her?
No.
State, do you have any questions for the witness?
Has anything like this ever happened before?
No.
And if anything like this or anything more severe ever occurred in the future where you felt threatened, would you feel comfortable calling 911?
Yes.
All right, thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor. Ms. Robinson does qualify for PTR. State has no objection.
Okay. Vince, do you have any questions, and do you object to pretrial release?
No questions and no objection, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Robinson, I'll release you on pretrial release with the condition you have no hostile contact with your daughter. Okay? All right, thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Your name, please?
Charisma Rodriguez.
Ma'am, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for battery. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. State you have a position on bond.
She does qualify for PTR, Your Honor. State has no objection.
Okay. Defense?
I'd ask for pretrial release, Your Honor.
All right. I'll release you on pretrial release with the conditions that you have no contact with the victim, that you maintain a separate residence from him. If he's residing at the shared apartment, you can return one time with law enforcement escorting you to get your personal belongings. You're not to go back there alone. You're not to have contact with him. All right. Good luck. Good morning. Your name, please?
Salima Saunders.
Ms. Saunders, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a battery. It's domestic related. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Can we swear in the witness?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Lisa McNair Saunders.
Thank you. Ma'am, the defendant's your daughter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. If she's released, do you want to have contact with her, or do you want her to stay away from you?
I'll have contact with her.
Are you in fear of her?
No, Your Honor.
State, do you have any questions for Ms. McNair Saunders?
Yes, ma'am. Has anything like this ever happened before?
Not her being violent, yes. She spit
Approximately.
on me. She spit on me when she had COVID. I called the police several times to try to get her help because she has anger issues. They wouldn't do anything. So her whole thing was, well, call the police. They can't do anything anyway. She needs to get some type of counseling for her anger. And Child Protective Services said if she was to come back to my home, it's a possibility they'll take my grandson. So this can't continue.
And you said that you called 911 before. Are you willing to call 911 in the future if you ever felt the need to?
Yes.
Okay. And you previously stated that you wanted contact with your daughter, Miss Saunders.
She don't have nowhere else to go, so
And
to try to get, if need be, if she has to come back, some kind of counseling, or if she can't, at least some kind of guidance to get her wherever she can go. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Ma'am, let me ask you, do you want her to come back and live in the house or not?
If she behaves.
Well, we're full of people that don't behave here. We cannot control. So I understand you want to get her help. Obviously, you're a mother, you love her. But I can only give certain parameters as what she can do. And one of those is whether she can come back and live with you or she'll have to live somewhere else.
That's the thing, she don't have nowhere to go. So,
Okay. I can't control that. So, I need to know from you, do you want her to come back to the house or do you want her to live somewhere else?
she could come back to the house.
Defense, do you have any questions for the victim? Okay. All right, state your position on release.
Your Honor, Ms. Saunders does qualify for PTR, so state has no objection, given that Ms. McNair would otherwise most likely be paying her bond to get her out. So state would ask for PTR.
Okay, defense?
I would ask for pretrial release, Your Honor, and a non-hostile contact. I did explain to the client if she violates, she can be brought back here and held at no bond.
All right, Ms. Saunders, I'm going to release you on pretrial release with the order that you have no hostile contact with your mom, okay? Understand if you have hostile contact with your mom, that not only includes your mom, it includes anybody else in the house. If you have hostile contact, get into another fight, expect the bond, this release condition, pretrial release, to be revoked, and that you'll probably be held on no bond. You'll sit in jail till the case is over, all right? So it's, okay. All right. Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Noel, STOT Polk County. Fennell is behavior.
Fennell is behavior, okay. All right, on Fennell, I'm gonna appoint the public defender and I'll stay the bond at none.
And I will waive him.
Yeah,
I believe Mr. Fennell also has, well, he has the 2 VOPs and then also the MDMA.
and on the second violation, I'll stay the bond at none, and I'll stay the bond on the MDMA charge at $1,000. Both VOPs stay the bond at none, and appoint the public defender in all cases, $1,000 bond on the third case. Morning, sir, your name, please?
Morning. Iyad Karakra.
All right, sir, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a violation of community control. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You were on community control for 2 counts of carrying concealed firearm. Allegations that you violated your community control. You were failed to remain confined to your residence. This was on July the 12th. The judge set the bond at $1,000. All right, good luck.
In Your Honor, can you advise he has an immigration hold?
And sir, you also have an immigration hold?
Can you bring him?
Sir, I just also wanted to remind you, you do have a hold for immigration.
Sir.
Okay, all right. Morning, sir, your name, please?
Micah McFadden.
Mr. McFadden, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a violation of community control. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You were on community control for sex offender failing to comply. Allegations are that you failed to follow your approved schedule on November 27th, the same on November 28th, same on November 29th, the same on December the 1st, that you failed to remain confined to your approved residence on the same 4 days, November 27th, 28th, 29th, December 1st. The bond's been set at none.
In Your
Good luck,
Honor,
sir.
he also has a HRSO detainer.
Sir, hold it before you. Okay. Also understand, he's got reporting requirements?
Yes.
So at some point in time, when you're released, understand that you have to report
Yes, sir.
back as an offender.
To the sheriff's office, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Morning, your name, sir?
Jai Solacron?
Sir, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a violation of community control. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're on community control for grand theft motor vehicle. Allegations that you violated are that you failed to remain confined to your approved residence. It's on December the 10th.
Yeah, no, we're having.
Hold on, you've got, today's not a hearing, so that's just the allegation. And you've got the right to remain silent, and I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Also, that you failed to comply with electronic monitoring it just says violated your supervision.
Yeah,
So
I think it's just.
also on the same day. So in any event, that the judge set the bond at none, I've appointed an attorney, so you can, if you have a defense to that,
Yeah.
you need to talk to the attorney about it.
Okay.
Okay.
It was just a malfunction of
Stop,
equipment.
stop.
I know.
So,
But
Right.
thank you for your time, sir.
good luck, sir.
How could I get in contact with him, by the way?
I just circled the numbers right there.
Okay, all right. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Enjoy your holiday.
Good luck. Can we give those? No, well, you need some time, counsel, to talk some offers, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So let's take a break for
I think
3
we have
minutes.
33, no?
I mean, whatever he wants to do.
We can do the 33-day motions, and then you need to talk to,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Yeah, we got a big stack of these. All right, so on the 33-day motions, I've got 22 MM 8003, Antoine Dwayne Andrews.
Granted, notice and on filing.
Granted. And 22 CF 13805, Antoine Dwayne Andrews.
Granted, notice and on filing.
Granted. 22 CF 12944, Tabitha Quinn Bayat.
Granted, it was no build.
No bill, thank you. And 22 CF 13799, same defendant.
Granted, no build.
No bill. 22 MM 7967, Brian Darnell Bookard.
That was 7967. Granted, no, it was no build.
No bill, thank you. 22 CF 13445, Louise Ortugno.
Granted, notice and on filing.
On filing, thank you. 22 CF 13222, Joseph Lee Conyers.
Granted, notice and on filing.
Granted. 22 CF 12466, Jamie Lavardez Copeland.
Granted, notice and on filing.
Be granted. 22 CF 13903, Myron Cedric France.
Granted, notice and on filing.
Be granted. 22 CF 12979, Ryan Brad Herbert.
Denied, and information was filed.
Denied. Twenty-two CF 13811, Jennifer Michelle Jones.
Denied, and information was filed.
Denied. 22 CF 14019, Demetrius Bernard Carey.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
22 CF 13806, Robert Clarence Losi.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
It's granted. 22 CF 13639, Lamb Nguyen.
Denied, and information was filed.
Denied. 22 CF 13745, Keith Leonard Revere.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Granted. 22 CF 11571, Mikhail Seawright.
I don't have, 11571, granted, notice of non-filing.
Granted.
Your Honor, and Seawright, he does not have an attorney appointed. He's been sitting in jail. We actually filed the motion for him. I would ask that you appoint us.
I'll appoint the public defender.
Thank you.
Thank you. 22 CF 13822, Shauna Marie Shirley.
Denied, and information was filed.
Denied. 22 CF 13925, Denard Brandon Smith.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
It's granted. 22 CF 11398, Scott Zilla.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
All right, we'll be in recess for 15, 20 minutes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Judge Epperson. We're here for initial appearances, of course, and I want to begin by having personnel put their names on the record from the State Attorney's Office.
Landry Balance for the state.
From the Public Defender's Office. From pretrial release.
Trish Jenkins, pretrial release.
All right. I believe the video's already been shown explaining the purpose of this brief hearing. And, all right, and so we'll just get started. When I call your name, just come directly to the podium. These weren't put on the cover sheet, so I may be relying on you a little more than usual. I'll try to get them as we go here. All right.
We can make a request. Could we call Evelyn Harkins first?
Sure. Yeah, let's call Ms. Harkins up. Evelyn Harkins. Okay. All right, public defenders appointed. Hello, Ms. Harkins. Hello. I've read the police report. I find probable cause for the allegation of theft. Just a moment. Let me find the cover sheet here. Okay. All right, apparently the defendant does not qualify for PTR. Ms. Harkins, you have a bond. I'm actually going to set your bond at $100. And your next, I'm also ordering that you not return to the New Start that's located at 2340 North Orange Blossom Trail. That's the place where you're accused of taking a hat and some items. You're presumed innocent, but don't go back to that location. All right, you have a $100 bond in your next court date.
On demand.
You'll receive it. You have a lawyer. I won't take action on the other matter that's pending. Thank you. Yes. All right, I want to turn to our interpreter matters, if we have any. Do you know if we have any, Mr. Williams?
Yes, we only have one, Antonio Peña-Leon.
Okay, he can come forward.
We're waiving reading, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, got him here. All right, good afternoon. One moment. All right, public defender appointed. Mr. Peña-Leon, good afternoon. Oh, we do need the interpreter, that's why I called it.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, certified Spanish interpreter, previously sworn.
All right, Ms. Britannia, we're at initial appearance today. I believe we only have one matter for you, case number 2011 CF 200. Defendant Antonio Peña, who's standing before the court. Good afternoon, Mr. Peña.
Buenas tardes, señor.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Peña, you've been arrested on an alleged violation of probation. Your bond is $0. The public defender is appointed to represent you, and your next court date will be provided.
Next court date, January 24th, in courtroom 5A at 8:15 a.m.
Señor, usted fue puesto bajo arresto por haber incumplido con el régimen de libertad vigilada. Se impuso prisión preventiva. En este caso se ha designado el abogado de oficio para que les represente y la fecha de la próxima audiencia será el 24 de enero a las 8:15 de la mañana en la sala 5A.
Gracias.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, juez.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Britannia. We'll go ahead and excuse.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Kamisha Brown.
She's approaching, Your Honor. She's in the back.
Okay, thank you. Public defender? Yes.
Still approaching, sorry.
She is on her way up?
Yes.
All right. All right, good afternoon, Ms. Brown. This is a matter in our circuit, the Ninth Circuit, so I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You've been arrested on an outstanding warrant from Orange County on a violation of probation. The underlying charge was a burglary of a dwelling, and the case number is 2020 CF 12992. The issuing court in Orange County set your bond at $0. It will remain $0 at this time, and your next court date will be provided, I believe.
On demand, we don't have one.
Right, it'll be provided, okay? Thank you. Not today, but it'll be provided. Charles Dyson. Hello, sir. I'm doing fine, thank you. Mr. Dyson, you've been arrested on a warrant out of Lake County. The Lake County Court set bond at $0. It will remain at $0 at this time, and Lake County will have a reasonable amount of time to pick you up. This is case 19 CF 3222. Thank you.
Can I ask the judge's name in that particular matter?
I don't believe I have it. Let me look and see. It's a circuit judge in Lake County, I believe. Just a second. Sometimes it's on the teletype. Let's see. No, I don't have that information. It's a circuit judge in Lake County, though. All right, thank you. All right, have a good day. Kenny White.
Attorney of record is Jeffrey Sullivan.
All right, is Mr. Sullivan private counsel?
Yes, Judge.
All right, is Mr. Sullivan at the jail there today? Mr. Williams, do you know?
Your Honor, I apologize for the interruption. I've spoken with Mr. Sullivan earlier today. He's not going to be coming today. However, I did want to make the court aware that one of these cases is a VOP in your division, and Mr. Sullivan and I intend to have a negotiated plea prepared if Your Honor would be willing to set it for jail arraignment next week.
Okay. All right, Mr. White, hello there. There's two matters. First of all, in case 22 CT 358, you've been arrested for an alleged violation of probation. Your bond is 0. The underlying charge was a driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions. And then also you've been arrested on a bench warrant by a warrant from Judge Karsten in case 22 CF 27. That's a trafficking cannabis charge. He set your bond at 0. It will remain 0 at this time. And your next court dates, Madam Clerk?
Next court date for 2022 CF 27, pre-trial on February 14th in courtroom 4F at 9 a.m. And for 2022 CT 358, next court date, January 5th in courtroom 5B at 8:05 a.m.
Thank you. Justin Upton.
Judge,
Okay, the phones have to be turned off in the courtroom. Hello, sir. Mr. Upton, there's 2 cases.
And the PD's already appointed on this case.
Public defender represents you. In case 21 CF 3516, been arrested on a warrant. Judge Karsten set your bond at 0. The underlying charge is grand theft. It was failure to appear at an arraignment. That's why you have a 0 bond. In case 21 CF 3295, another warrant with a 0 bond for failure to appear at arraignment. Underlying charge grand theft. Next court dates.
Next court date for 2021 CF 3295 and 3516, January 9th in courtroom 4F at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you. Garrett Placonis. Not sure. All right. I don't see the check sheet, but PD. They do it anyway. Yeah, okay. Right. Please state your full name.
Garrett Placonis?
All right, Mr. Placonis, do you presently have enough money to hire your own attorney?
No.
All right, do you want me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Yeah.
So I'll make a provisional appointment. You'll have to complete an application. You've been arrested on an outstanding warrant, case number 22 CF 3728, possession of fentanyl and possession of drug paraphernalia. Bond is $1,000 on count 1, 100 on count 2. Should you make bond, you're not to possess, ingest, or consume any illegal substances or any controlled substances without a prescription. Next court date.
Next court date on demand.
You'll receive. Thank you. Patrick Gilligan. This is the one you said we're only dealing with the one case, right? Okay. All right, sir. Hello.
Hello, Your Honor.
Can you afford to hire your own attorney?
No, I cannot. I'm on fixed income. I'm disabled.
I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter.
Well, I was Johnson was my public defender, but he moved up in the ranks and he put someone on my case. I don't know what name though. It's a woman.
Okay, I don't either. I just know that the public defender's office represents you, and there will be an assistant public defender representing you today. Mr. Williams is standing to your right. He's an attorney with that office. Just a moment. All right, sir, you've been arrested on an outstanding warrant for failing to appear at arraignment. The underlying charge, battery and criminal mischief. You do have a bond. Your bond is $1,500 aggregate total, $500 for each count. 2 counts of battery, 1 count of criminal mischief. Your next court date.
Next court date if still in jail, January 5th. If out, January 17th in courtroom 5B at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you.
The 5th? This is the 5th or the 17th?
The 5th if you have not bonded out, and the 17th if you've bonded out.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, he have another
The 2 felony cases were erroneously put on the IA docket because they're They're just orders that he got picked up on, signed by a judge.
Okay. Giovannia Del Valle Alicea.
Not quite sure if she's watching, but I don't know if she will.
Okay.
I don't see him here, Your Honor. Can we repeat the name one more time?
Giovannia Del Valle Alicea, case 22 CF 3662.
I don't see anybody.
All right, I'll skip over that and come back to it. Okay, I'm now going to start calling up what we sometimes refer to as our new cases. I want to begin by calling the names of individuals who might have interested parties present here in the courtroom. Just one moment. Mariah Hernandez, come forward. Mariah Hernandez. All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
There's some static or noise coming over the microphone there. I'm not sure what it is.
I think one of the carts are rolling over.
Okay. All right, Ms. Hernandez, I believe that Bernie Martinez is present in the courtroom and can hear and see what's taking place. Just a second. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. I have reviewed the police report. Based on its content, there's adequate facts to establish probable cause. Ms. Jenkins, history?
Your Honor, from 2014 to 2015, grand theft, fraud, and VOP.
Okay, just a moment. All right, I'm setting bond at $500. Should you make bond, you're to have no contact whatsoever with Ms. Yesenia Cabrera. I realize that's your sister, but no contact until further order of the court. Also, until further order of the court, you're not to return to 3205 Espinosa Drive. I realize that you probably have belongings there, such as clothing, toiletries, personal items. I would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the sheriff's office for the sole purpose of acquiring those belongings, but otherwise you can't return, all right? Your next court date, Madam Clerk?
On demand.
You'll receive it. Thank you. Okay, just a moment. Turning next to Benjamin Kontak.
He doesn't appear to be here at the moment, Your Honor.
I'm not sure I pronounced the last name correctly, but Benjamin, spelled K-O-N-C-Z-A-K?
Oh, he's in detox.
He's in detox. All right, well, I believe that his wife, Ms. Angela Kontak, is present. We're going to reset this case for initial appearance tomorrow, since he is in detox and can't be dealt with today. All right. Okay, the last case that we will take up kind of out of order. Give me a second. Menzanur Rahman Sampad. And I believe his brother Samanto is present in the courtroom. Mohammed Samanto present. All right, hello, sir. One moment. Do you have enough money right now to hire your own lawyer?
No.
Are you interested in having the public defender appointed to help you in your case?
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender provisionally, and you'll need to complete an application. I have reviewed the police report. I do find sufficient cause for battery. One moment. Just gonna get the cover sheet here. Mr. Balance from the State Attorney's Office, I was given information that the victim may be present. I don't know if he wished to be heard. Do you know? Is Mohammed Samanto present? Did you want to say anything today? Don't say anything. Do you want to say something? All right, so what we'll do is we'll have you, our deputy will assist you coming up here to the podium. You can swear me in. All right, sir, please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
You can put your hand down. Please state your name, your full name, and your date of birth.
My name is Mohammed Simanta. My date of birth is April 20, 2002.
Okay, you are named as the victim in this case. Because of that, you have the right to be heard today if you wish to speak. Today is not the day that both sides argue about what might have happened, but today is the day for the court to determine whether bond is appropriate, and if so, what conditions of release might be appropriate. And you have the right to be heard on those questions. So now is the time.
He's my brother. He's my blood brother. And we had a family problem. We had a fight. He hit me, and a lot of things happened. And like I came to a realization that like there is no point like making scene outside of the house. So is it possible that I can take my case back?
Okay. Mr. Balance is here from the State Attorney's Office. Mr. Balance, did you have any questions for Mr. Mohammed Samanto?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Excuse me, Your Honor, sorry, we're having problems hearing the alleged victim in this case.
Okay, Mr. Samanto, as you continue to speak, if you'll lean into that microphone right there that's on top of the podium, let's give it a test. 1, 2, 3 into the microphone.
1, 2, 3.
Can you hear him?
Yes, just a little louder.
Okay, yeah, just speak up with a strong voice. Mr. Balance?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Samanto, are you afraid of your brother? If your brother...
Let's do this. Let's have him use the microphone on the desk. He can speak directly into it. He can go over there. Yeah, that's fine. And just speak directly into that microphone.
No.
If your brother is released, are you afraid that he's going to do something like this again?
No.
If your brother is released, do you want him to be allowed to have contact with you?
Yes.
If your brother is released, do you want him to be allowed to live in the same residence as you?
Yes.
If your brother is released, are you comfortable calling the police if necessary?
I'm sorry?
If your brother is released and there were to be hostile contact, would you feel comfortable calling the police to report it?
Yes.
Has anyone pressured you to make these statements today?
I make my own decision.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Williams, do you have any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Samanto, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Sampad, I'm setting your bond in the amount of $500. Should you make bond, you're to have no hostile contact with Mr. Mohammed Samanto, your brother. No hostile contact obviously prohibits any acts of violence, but it also prohibits any threats of violence or any acts of intimidation. All right, because it's a no hostile contact, I'm not going to order that the defendant not return to the location. Your next court date,
On demand.
you will receive. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I believe I've covered the cases that we had folks here for, so we'll move on that concludes the matter. We'll move on in the order of the cases having been provided. Wesley Alvey. Okay. Okay, Mr. Alvey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. I believe the co-defendant in this case might have been here yesterday, so, and I can't recall whether the public defender was on that case or not, so there may be a conflict moving forward, but I'll make a provisional appointment today. I've reviewed the police report. The court finds probable cause for theft. Ms. Jenkins, history?
2010, you have GT false ownership, dealing in stolen property. 2018, resisting officer without violence, petty theft. 2019, petty theft. 2020, petty theft, fraud, petty theft. Larceny, and he's out on bond for grand theft out of Seminole County.
All right, Mr. Alvey, I'm setting your bond in this case in the amount of $7,500. Should you make bond, you're to have no contact whatsoever with Mr. Luther Adams. Also, you're not to return to any Home Depot whatsoever, no Home Depot store. Don't return to any. Your next court date, Madam Clerk?
Next court date on demand.
You'll receive it. Luther Adams, no, it's the alleged co-defendant. All right, thanks. Let's see, Carlos Candelario. Right, hello, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you afford to hire your own attorney?
Yes.
All right, I've read the police report in this case. The case number is 22 CF 3734. The court finds probable cause for carrying a concealed firearm. Ms. Jenkins, history?
Your Honor, this year, 12/5/2022, he's out on bond in Lake County for possession of controlled substance, ×3.
Okay, your bond on the carrying concealed firearm will be $5,000. Should you make bond, you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Also, I'm ordering that, based on the totality of the circumstances in this case, that you not possess any controlled substances without a prescription. Obviously, you have to, you can't break any law, so that's a given that you can't possess controlled substances without a prescription, but I wanted to go ahead and explicitly make that clear to you. Your next court date?
On demand.
You'll receive. Thank you. Kelsey Cunningham.
Question, Your Honor.
Right, hello. Ms. Cunningham, can you afford to hire your own attorney? Do you want me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Yeah.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. I've reviewed the police report. I find probable cause for the 4 listed charges: possession of cocaine, possession of MDMA, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Your bonds will remain as they've been set for an aggregate or total amount of $4,250. It's $1,000 on count 1, $2,500 count 2, $250 count 3, and $500 count 4. Unfortunately, you're out on bond in case 22 CF 3286. Because of the probable cause of these new law violations, your bond will be revoked in that case and you'll be held on 0 bond. There is also another matter, 21 CF 2510, for which you're in apparently the pretrial intervention program in Orange County. I will leave it to the problem-solving court judge to untie that knot. All right, I won't deal with that particular case, but bond's revoked in 22 CF 3286. Your next court date?
On demand.
You'll receive. Thank you. Isaiah Feliciano. Good afternoon. One moment. Can you afford to hire your own attorney?
No, sir.
Do you want me to appoint the public defender?
Yes.
All right, I'll make that appointment. I've reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. On those particular charges, your bond will remain as set, $1,500 on count 1, $500 count 2, for a total of $2,000. Unfortunately, you are presently on probation in case 22 CF 2230. I think underlying charges of burglary based upon probable cause for these new law violations, which includes a felony. There'll be a zero bond on 22 CF 2230. I find a non-view violation of probation. Probation will have 72 hours to consider filing an affidavit. Next court date,
On demand.
you'll receive. Thank you. Kevin Gomez.
He's in the back, Your Honor. You're gonna unlock.
Okay.
Now he's approaching, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Gomez. Mr. Gomez. Hello there.
Hello.
We have three cases that we need to deal with. They all arise out of the same general time frame, but there's three separate cases. Okay, first of all, the Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you in each of these three matters. I'm going to deal first of all with case number 22 CF 3739. Mr. Balance is here from the state, Mr. Williams from the Public Defender's Office. The court finds probable cause for a lesser included offense of theft. Theft is an endeavoring offense, meaning to attempt a theft satisfies the theft statute. However, there's insufficient detail in the existing affidavit to find probable cause for robbery by sudden snatching. So it's the lesser included offense of theft. I'll come back to the bond on that in just a few minutes. Let me turn to the next case, 22 MM 2871. I'm giving the state 24 hours to supplement the record. There's an allegation of stalking, and based upon the court's assessment, the existing affidavit is insufficient to establish stalking. There's a reference to two separate incidents, state, one having to do with some incident at a Dollar General store, but there's no description as to what transpired, and yet it is supposedly a constituent element of the stalking. And then there's also another description that took place at the alleged victim's home. 24 hours, that'll be reset for tomorrow for initial appearance. However, the defendant's bond will remain as it's presently set on that, which is zero.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yeah.
Mr. Garrett just wanted to inform the court that he's trying to seek mental health services from Park Place, and he wanted that considered with his bond.
Okay. And perhaps we'll address that with more detail tomorrow. All right, moving to the next case, 22 CF 3741. The court finds probable cause for robbery. And before determining bond and conditions of release, Ms. Jenkins, history?
2018, stolen property, dealing in stolen property, petty theft, possession of controlled substance without a prescription, battery, domestic battery by strangulation, resisting officer with violence, VOP, aggravated battery again, dwellers, 2019 battery, 2019 grand theft, resisting officer without violence, battery on a LEO firefighter, resisting officer without violence, 2020 violation of PTR condition of domestic violence, 2021 battery, a person 65 years or older, battery resisting officer without violence, 2022 battery, violation of domestic injunction and failed to leave property.
All right.
And that one, he's out on bond on 22 MM 2727.
Okay, in 22 CF 3741, which is the last case I called up, which was the robbery, I find probable cause. Bond in that particular case will be $25,000. Should you make bond, you're to have no contact whatsoever with Mr. Luis de Jesus Flores. Also, Mr. Gomez, you need to pay attention here. All right, and then you can talk to your lawyer in a moment. You're to have no contact whatsoever with Mr. Luis de Jesus Flores. You're not to return to 2450 North Orange Blossom Trail, Advent Health. Turning next to case 22MM2871, as I said before, that will be recalled tomorrow. Law enforcement has 24 hours to supplement the record. Bond will remain as currently set at 0. On the case 22CF3739, probable cause for lesser included offense of theft, your bond in that case will be set at $500. Should you make bond, you're not to return to the International House of Pancakes, known as IHOP, at 1715 West Vine Street, and you're to have no contact with Mr. Ron Sharma, the alleged victim in the case. And then finally, sir, Mr. Gomez, you're out on bond on case 22MM2727 based upon probable cause of new law violations. Actually, I need to see that police report, if you can pull that up. I just need to see when he was put on bond. One moment. Pretty sure this is prior to these, obviously, but just. I want to go to when he bonded out there, 1219. Okay.
19.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Ms. Jenkins. All right, so Mr. Gomez, your bond is revoked in case 22MM2727. You'll be held on 0 bond in that case. Public defender appointed in all these matters. Now, if you needed to speak to your attorney for a moment, I'll give you that opportunity, and then if Mr. Williams wants to address the court, that's fine. So I'll give you a moment there with your lawyer. Yeah, 2340 North Orange. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wrong. Got the wrong sticky. Hang on.
It would have been 3741.
Yeah. Okay.
Your Honor, Mr. Gomez wanted to request the bond to be lowered to at least $2,000. To $1,000.
One moment. The address was 2450 North Orange Blossom Trail. That's 2450. All right. You were saying Mr. Gomez was requesting a bond reduction to how much?
$1,000.
All right. Mr. Gomez, at initial appearance, which is our hearing today, the court is making its best judgment based on all the information that's been provided to the court. Sometimes there's additional information that can be presented to a judge to consider modifying your bond. You'll have to talk to your lawyer about that, but I'm going to keep the bonds as they've been announced for now. Mr. Balance from the State Attorney's Office.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state would also request the additional conditions of no weapons and no drugs or alcohol. The basis for this is in the robbery with weapon case, a baseball bat was supposedly used.
Yeah.
As well as the history of drug use.
Okay, just a second. That sticky go. All right, I will order that in case 22CF3741 that you not possess any weapons or firearms, that you not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages, that you not possess, ingest any controlled substances without a prescription. And your next court dates again, Madam Clerk?
Next court date for 22CF3739, 22CF3741, and 22MM2871 on demand.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Aaron Green. Aaron Green. All right. Public defender is appointed to represent Mr. Aaron Green. Good afternoon. Mr. Green, I have read the police report. I do find probable cause for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Ms. Jenkins?
He had from 2001 to 2005, fraud, possession of marijuana, grand theft, reckless driving, resisting officer, firefighter, dwellers. 2009 to 2013, possession of marijuana, possession of cocaine, resisting officer, destroying evidence. He failure to appear ×2, dwellers DUI, out of county, state, out of Maryland, 10/5/2020, handgun on person, handgun and vehicle, loaded handgun and vehicle, and failed to obey. Failure to appear, and he's wanted out of Maryland on a failure to appear for the weapon offense.
All right, Mr. Green, your bond on count 1 will be $2,500, $1,000 on count 2, for an aggregate of $3,500. Should you make bond, you're not to possess, ingest any controlled substances without a prescription. And your next court date,
On demand.
you'll receive. Thank you.
Your Honor, the state also respectfully requests as an additional condition of release that the defendant not drive without a valid driver's license.
All right, you have to abide by all laws, which includes not operating a motor vehicle without a valid license. All right, thank you. That'll be a condition. All right, turning next to Julian, Huerta, and Guiano.
Approaching, Your Honor.
I will appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. Just a moment. All right, we have 3 matters to deal with. First of all, in case 22 CT 3737, the court finds probable cause for fleeing and attempting to elude a law enforcement officer. I'll just say this for Madam Clerk. It looks like it's been assigned presently a CT case number. It will need a CF case number.
I think the clerk may have just wrote it, like it looks like a CT, but it's 22 CF 3737.
Okay, it certainly looks like a T. It is, yeah. All right, okay, 22 CF 3737, fleeing and eluding a law enforcement officer. Your bond on that case will be $5,000. Turning to case 22 CF 3735, the court finds probable cause for carrying a concealed firearm, also attempting to take deer or turkey with a gun and light. Your bond on carrying concealed firearm will be $1,000, and for the attempted taking, $500. Should you make bond, you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. And in case 22 CF 2611, you're presently out on bond for possession of cannabis more than 20 grams and possession of drug paraphernalia. Your bond in that case is revoked, and you'll be held on a 0 bond on that particular case based upon new law violations. Next court dates.
Next court date for 22 CF 3735 and 3737 on demand.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes.
One quick question. I never seen this charge.
Okay.
But they're taking the deer, turkey, gun, light, and then the other charge up under the violation of FWC, is that one charge?
Let me see if I can see the paperwork. Okay, see if I. Okay, I might have missed one. Just a minute. Okay, so we have, he struck through that one. So we have carrying concealed firearm. Okay, yeah, no, I neglected one other charge. It's a separate and distinct charge, and that is attempting to take deer or turkey from a right-of-way, a highway. And your bond in that particular case will be set, just a moment, at $500. All right, so I missed that charge. Thank you, Ms. Jenkins. All right, that concludes these matters. Sonny Cristo. I'm fine, thank you. One moment. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Court finds probable cause for operating a motor vehicle without having a valid Florida driver's license. Your bond will remain $500 on this case. Unfortunately, you're on probation in case 21 CF 3211 for possession of cocaine. Based upon the new law violation, the court finds an on-view violation of probation, and I'm going to, I'll set your bond at $5,000 on the violation of probation, and probation will have 72 hours to consider taking action. Public defenders appointed in that as well. Next court date,
Next court date for 22 CT 4466 is still in jail, January 5th, if out January 17th in courtroom 5B at 8:30 a.m.
thank you. Jorman Martinez.
Approaching, Your Honor.
Get sick in my fingers. All right, hello, Mr. Martinez.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right, the court finds probable cause for battery. Ms. Jenkins, history?
He has no Florida history, out of California, 2011, possession of burglary tools and trespassing.
Your bond is $500. Should you make bond, you're to have no contact with Ms. Yesenia Cabrera. Also, you must not return to 3205 Espinosa Drive. Now, you probably have clothing and toiletries and personal things at that location. The court would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the sheriff's office for acquiring those belongings, and you can talk to your lawyer about possible bond modifications. But for now, until further order of the court, no return to that location without the assistance of the sheriff's office. Next court date,
On demand.
you'll receive. Thank you. Kathy Orta. Hello, Ms. Orta.
Hello.
If you could step up to the microphone there. All right. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for trespassing as well as resisting an officer without violence. Ms. Jenkins, history?
2010 to 2012, resisting officer with violence, battery on LEO, resisting without violence, VOP, and 2021 trespassing.
All right, Ms. Orta, if the court was to place you on pretrial release, direct pretrial release, are you going to be able to comply with the court's directive not to return to 2404 Caravel Circle?
I still got my belongings there.
Yeah, that's why I'm concerned that you might try to go back.
If she could get a one-time return with police officers present.
Just a moment. Should have had your stuff out. I'll ask you one more time. If you're placed on direct pretrial release, do you think you will abide by an order not to return to that location?
No.
Okay, that's all I needed. On count one, trespassing, your bond will be $1,000. On count two, resisting an officer without violence, your bond will be $1,000. Should you make bond, you're not to return to 2404 Caravel Circle in Kissimmee, and you're to have no contact whatsoever with Mr. Richard Cabello. No contact means none. No phone calls, no letters, no waves, no contact whatsoever. And your next court date, Madam Clerk?
On demand.
You'll receive. Thank you. Emmanuel Cirque. Hello, sir.
How you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. Ms. Jenkins, history?
He has no history, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Cirque, I'm setting your bond at $250. Should you make bond, it'll be supervised by pretrial release. You're to have, until further order of the court, you're to have no contact whatsoever with Gonley Freeman. I realize he's your stepson, I believe. No contact. Also, until further order of the court, and you can talk to your lawyer, but until further order of the court, you're not to return to 5308 Rochester Place in St. Cloud, Florida. With this exception, you may return one time with the assistance of the sheriff's office for acquiring necessary personal belongings such as toiletries, clothing, items for work, and things like that. Otherwise, until further order of the court, not to return. Your next court date,
On demand.
you'll receive. Thank you.
I apologize for Kathy, Orta, and for Mr. Emmanuel. Are we appointing the PD position?
No, I'm appointing the public defender, yeah. Okay, on both of those, yeah. It's based on their paperwork that I see, yep. All right, John Sutherland.
Approaching, Your Honor.
All right, hello, sir. Mr. Sutherland, I've reviewed the police report. I find probable cause for possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you in this matter. One moment. Yeah, bond will be $500. Should you make bond, you're not to possess, ingest, or consume any illegal substances or any controlled substances without a prescription. Thank you.
Next court date on demand.
Okay, let's turn now to Jabwal Cornelius.
Approaching, Your Honor.
All right, hello, sir. One moment. All right, having reviewed the police report that's sworn to, I find probable cause for carrying a concealed firearm as well as attempting to take deer at night, or attempting to take deer or wildlife from the right-of-way, as well as attempting to take deer or turkey by use of a gun and or light. So there's 3 charges. Your bond on count 1 will be $1,000. That's the carrying concealed firearm. Your bond on attempting to take deer with gun and light, $500, and attempting to take deer from the right-of-way, $250, for an aggregate amount of $1,750. You're also not to possess any weapons or firearms. And just a moment. Next court date,
On demand.
you'll receive. Thanks.
Your Honor.
Yep.
He's out on bond on 22 CF 3581 and 22 CF 3582.
Okay, yeah, I was looking for his cover sheet. I didn't have the cover sheets. Thank you. I mean, I had them. I didn't have them on top of the police reports. Thank you for that. One moment. Wow. Okay. I can't read the handwriting there. Just a second. Ms. Jenkins, one of them is 22 CF 3581. The other case number, 22 CF?
3582.
3582, okay. Okay. All right, I have I need Mr. Walls to come back up there. Cornelius Walls. Got a fuller picture now of things here. All right, Mr. Walls. I need to readdress a few matters. First of all, your bond is revoked in 22 CF 3581 and 22 CF 3582. You'll be held on zero bond on each one of those cases. Also, given the fuller picture that I have, your bond on the carrying concealed firearm is going to be $10,000, and your bonds will remain as they were previously set on the attempting to take deer with gun and roadway. All right, thank you.
Court date on demand.
All right, turning next to Dyron Diaz. Actually, it's Caleb Dyron Diaz. One moment, sir. Oh, yes. On these particular matters, I'll turn first to Ms. Jenkins from PTR. Ms. Jenkins, history?
He has no Florida history. He have California and Texas history. Texas 2012, possible, I'm gonna say possession of controlled substance, carrying a switchblade knife, theft by use of an access card, assault and battery. 2018, taking a vehicle without consent, dwellers, disorderly conduct, possession of stolen vehicle, dwellers. Out of Texas, public order crimes, criminal trespass, theft to property, evading arrest, criminal mischief, and he have an active warrant out of Texas for a larceny.
All right, we have two cases, two separate case numbers here to address. First of all, Mr. Diaz, in case number 22, CF 3743, the court finds probable cause for fleeing and attempting to elude a law enforcement officer. Your bond is $20,000, attaching tag not assigned $500, driving without a valid license $500. Also, as a condition of release, you're not to be in actual physical control of any motor vehicle. This means you can't be sitting behind the wheel of a vehicle with the capacity to operate it. That would violate your conditions of release and subject you to zero bond. All right, turning next to case number 22 CF 3740. There's a number of charges that we need to walk through. First of all, possession of Xanax, a controlled substance without a prescription. Your bond will be $1,000. I find probable cause for all of the following listed charges. Possession of cocaine, your bond will be $1,000. All right, let's move along here. You can address the court in a moment. Count 3, possession of drug paraphernalia, your bond will be $500. There's now 3 separate charges for aggravated assault of a law enforcement officer for 3 separate incidents that occurred consecutively. Your bond on each of those will be $25,000, so that would be for each ag assault times 3. Resisting an officer without violence, your bond will be $1,000. So your aggregate or total amount for your bonds in 22 CF 3740 will be $78,500. A condition of your release is that you not be in actual physical control of a motor vehicle. Cannot sit behind the wheel of a vehicle with the capacity to operate it. I think you were wanted to be heard through your attorney perhaps on the cocaine allegation. Yeah.
Your Honor, on the aggravated assault charge, the argument against probable cause would be that because of the context of the situation, it seems the intent of the act in this case wasn't to do violence towards the officer, but instead to escape the parking lot. And so because there was no intent to commit a threat against the officer himself, it wouldn't qualify as an assault.
All right, Mr. Balance.
Yes, Your Honor. Operating a motor vehicle in that manner so close to a law enforcement officer is inherently dangerous. Therefore, even if the defendant must have had some intent to harm the officer if he was going to drive a car in that direction.
All right, just one moment. Florida statute 784. Just a second. Let's see. No. All right, I've considered your arguments. From the circumstances that are described in the report, the court does conclude, based on a probable cause standard, that the defendant's action of ramming into the vehicle on 3 separate occasions that was parked directly behind him after the law enforcement vehicle had made his presence known, that act was an intentional act that was done. It wasn't an unintentional act. And while he might have also had an ulterior purpose of fleeing the scene a second time, since he had earlier fled from law enforcement, that makes sense that he was trying to flee again. The act of ramming into the vehicle was an intentional act, and that it did create a well-founded fear on the part of the law enforcement officer that violence was imminent or about to take place. I don't see that there is any requirement in the statute that the defendant's intent must be linked to the fear. His intent has to do with the act that he commits, and then the question is whether or not that creates a well-founded fear in the mind of the victim. So I respectfully demur from the argument, and the bond amounts will stay as they are without prejudice to making those arguments in future proceedings. All right, that concludes these matters.
Your Honor, you may have already said this, but in the event that the defendant is released, the state requests that the defendant not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol.
All right, based upon the charges, some of the charges which are controlled substance offenses, I will order that the defendant not possess, ingest any controlled substances without a prescription, has to abide by the laws, of course, and not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages. Madam Clerk, next court dates.
Next court date for 22 CF 3740 and 3743 on demand.
Thank you.
Judge, did you want the alcohol and no drugs on both of them?
Both cases, yes.
Thank you.
Giovannia Del Valle Alicea.
Your Honor, we request a reset for her case. She wasn't brought because of behavioral problems.
Well, can someone corrections, that concludes your hearing, sir. You're done. Thank you. Can someone from corrections particularize that? She was behavior? Okay. Yeah, because it may constitute a waiver of initial appearance. What was she doing?
I was just told by another officer, a female officer, that it's her behavior issues.
All right. Thank you, officer. I'll give it one reset. We'll see if she see what happens tomorrow. And now, if she doesn't come tomorrow and it's a behavior issue, if I could get some detail on that, it may constitute a waiver of initial appearance. But we'll go ahead and reset it one time for tomorrow. All right. Let's see, did we do this? These stinking sheets mixed in. I'm going to go off record a minute. All right, I believe we've covered everything. Mr. Williams, do you concur?
Yes, Your Honor. I have nobody else.
All right. Thank you for your work. Thank you, everybody. And we will be in recess in this division until additional appearances tomorrow.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks.